now Republican Congressman from Arizona, Andy Biggs. Great to have you with us tonight, Congressman.
Good to be with you, Shannon.
Do you want to weigh in on where we are in this conversation?
Well, I think it's very interesting that we're getting some mixed messages of what took place in that meeting. I think that's very interesting, for one thing. And then the second thing, that the Democrats are already preparing a motion, a resolution of censure to go with the resolution of impeachment that they already had, to go with the Russian investigation that they wanted, and now it's kind of gone against him. All the way back to the day he was elected, they've been wanting to delegitimize this president, and I don't think that this really helps the president or the Democrats. The only people who believe them anymore are their own base, I think.
Well, and Representative Al Green, the one who's brought the impeachment articles before, says this: congressional condemnation of racist bigotry is not enough. In Congress, talk is cheap. It's how we vote that counts. Next week, I will again bring a resolution to impeach real Donald Trump. I will put my vote where my mouth is. Hashtag repeal and replace Trump. They've done this before. I believe it was about 58 Democrats who voted to move forward. Many others, though, in the party are saying this is not a good look for us. They don't want to be running on this idea of impeachment. Do you think he's just going to continue to bring this up for a vote, and we're going to keep watching it not proceed, but get enough votes to get some attention?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is what they're trying to do, and I think it's going to backfire on them, because what we're seeing is where the Republicans deliver with President Trump and the economy and things that are going that way. If all you've got is the racist card and delegitimizing President Trump, you're not going to win over those independents that went President Trump's way and helped carry him to victory last year. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's where they are.
All right, you've written a piece, because now we got to talk about the substance of trying to get a deal done. Government funding runs out a week from tonight at midnight, and of course the Democrats are saying DACA has to be tied to that. You have written a piece and said basically until the wall is funded, started, and finished, we should not be talking about any kind of legal status for anybody who's here illegally. Are you going to be able to hold that line? Because it sounds like the president is pushing forward, and something's going to have to get done in one form or fashion.
Well, I'm going to hold that line for sure, because that's what I promised my voters. That's what my voters want. That's what they expect. I received messages today about that op-ed supporting that position. And quite frankly, we've danced this dance before. In 1980, we had an amnesty, and what happened? We were promised all kinds of border security, internal enforcement. It didn't happen. Happened again when we were going to build a wall. We built the wall, provided funding, and then the funding dried up. So these are some real problems that we've seen before. And so I'm so mistrustful. I think that we keep our promise first and then not give up our leverage until we've built that wall.
Okay, here's what the president says about the deal he was presented with. He says the so-called bipartisan DACA deal presented yesterday to myself and a group of Republican senators and congressmen was a big step backwards. Wall was not properly funded, chain and lottery were made worse, and USA would be forced to take large numbers of people from high-crime countries. Yeah, I have a White House insider who told me they just didn't consider the proposal serious at all. And it sounds like it if anything, upset the president and maybe, who knows, provoked some of the rough language. But it doesn't seem like he believed that those leaders came to him in good faith with a legitimate deal.
Right, and I agree with that. When I read the aspects of the proposal that were released, it was like a token for the offense, and then they get everything they want. This looks like that old Gang of Eight bill that we heard so much about derogatorily, by the way. And I think that this and the Durbin report and all that, I hope it's instructive to the president that maybe some of these people that are negotiating from the other side aren't really there in good faith. I think that they're there trying to make their political point, and they don't really want DACA. They want the DREAM Act. That's what they want. They're calling it DACA, but they want a path to citizenship, a path to amnesty, and that's part of the problem.
Let me ask you about the more immediate concern, which is government funding, which runs out next Friday night, not too long from when the show goes off the air. What is going to happen? Because the Democrats are saying, listen, we let you go in December without insisting on DACA or any kind of protections for those individuals. We're not going to do it this time. I mean, government shut down over DACA.
I don't believe the government's going to shut down over DACA. I think that you're going to see, hopefully, military funding, defense funding for the rest of the year, and we're going to take care of some of the additional funding that needs to go there. But I don't think you're going to see a government shut down over DACA.
All right. Well, we'll be here next Friday night. Feel free to join us. Hopefully you will have worked out a solution on both sides of the aisle for this before we get to that.